Jedi devilry is this? Why, it's the Season 3 finale of Star Wars Rebels. A finale which has practically everything. Jedi, Mandalorians, Grand Admiral Thrawn, the Death Troopers from Star Wars Rogue One, and Bendu, transforming into a giant demonic version of Sky Mufasa, who can shoot lightning from his eyes, which has the power to destroy Imperial walkers in one explosive shot. And even with all of that, this was just an okay finale for Star Wars Rebels. I mean, don't get me wrong, I liked this little 1 hour special, which in many ways felt like a very classic Star Wars movie. A lot of that having to do with the fact that we had the Rebellion going toe-to-toe with the Empire, which meant lots of A-Wings and bombers and TIE fighters, Star Destroyers crashing into each other, the return of General Dodonna, a minor character from Star Wars Episode 4, and the fact that the stakes are constantly being raised while Grand Admiral Thrawn gets this much closer to defeating his enemies. But man, the final duel between Obi-Wan Kenobi and Darth Maul is a really tough act to follow, and considering the way that the second season ended with Darth Vader and Ahsoka having a big showdown, this one was kind of disappointing. That and the fact that Grand Admiral Thrawn never really got to defeat the Rebels. He never really got, like, his big moment from the season, aside from the fact that he's just incredibly calculating and has a really cool sounding voice. I feel like something is missing from this finale right here, and it's pretty clear that this one just sort of rushed out the door. It's a shame, too, because it just sort of ends the way that you would expect, with the Rebels barely escaping, the Empire dealing a massive blow to their forces, and, of course, one major character death, which just happens to be Sato, of all people. And while that scene was really cool, we didn't really get to spend too much time with this character, so I find myself just not caring all that much. But don't get me wrong, seeing his massive ship carved through a Star Destroyer was pretty damn satisfying. There's also the subplot of Fulcrum, who of course has been found by Grand Admiral Thrawn, and there's a great scene when he actually tricks him into being caught when he goes down on the planet of Lothal, and you get to see him accompanied by these Death Troopers who are in the episode for no reason other than the fact that they appeared in Star Wars Rogue One, and they don't really do that much outside of what you see from normal Stormtroopers, but damn, they still look freaking awesome. Easily one of my favorite Stormtrooper designs. We get to see Thrawn have a little fisticuffs fight with Fulcrum as well, and unfortunately Kallus does get defeated. He gets basically his ass handed to him throughout most of the episode, but by the end, he is saved by his brand new Rebel allies. We also get to see the return of Sabine Wren in these episodes as well, where Ezra decides to go to her planet, begging for help, and luckily they're able to get it from Sabine and a couple of her soldiers, which allows them to go through this great sequence where they land down on top of this massive Imperial ship. But easily the most interesting subplot of this episode has to do with the Bendu, the massive creature who is in the middle. He'll remind you of this many, many a times, which I think is definitely one of his funny character quirks, but because he is in the middle, he is very conflicted. Should he help the light side? Should he help the dark side? Is it the will of the Force to simply destroy everyone, or should he intervene? Well, he definitely intervenes by the end of the episode when he transforms into this massive, just destructive force of nature, essentially transforming into this massive storm cloud with glowing eyes which can shoot lightning. I especially love that he's able to take down the AT-ATs with basically one shot. Speaking of AT-ATs, man, they just go down hard in this episode, like with Kanan actually using his lightsaber to cut through their legs, and it makes me realize, I wonder why Luke didn't just do that in The Empire Strikes Back as opposed from going to that weird sequence where he decided to basically use his belt to bring him up to the top of an AT-AT's stomach, cut it open, and throw a freaking grenade inside, when he could have just as easily cut off their own legs. But whatever, it doesn't look as stylistic, and it's also not as fun as throwing a grenade into one of these giant walking steel camels. Still, this episode did deliver on the action, so if you like that, you're gonna like this week's episode. So what's the rundown on the season finale of Season 3 of Star Wars Rebels? I get a collective meh from this episode. Don't get me wrong, it was visually stimulating and it had some great action scenes, but I don't think this necessarily had to be an hour long. There was a lot of downtime in these episodes, and some of the moments are going to come across as a little cheesy, like the scene where Ezra is talking to Kanan and he's basically saying, "Thanks for teaching me how to be a good guy, and how to look out for the best of others and the power of friendship, and blah, 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 blah. Let's just get to the action, guys. Let's just get to the thing that matters. I know we need character development in the show, but we've had plenty of it. Let's just get through it already. I will say, though, that there are other little moments in the episode that I love. Like, I love the fact that Rex and Zeb have basically started a bromance with each other. These guys just love taking out the Empire and doing it in a big, flashy way, and their personalities just totally meld together perfectly. I love those guys. They're fantastic. We also got to see the return of Sabine, which was really awesome. All of her action scenes are always really fun to watch, and just her pure dedication to her friends, despite the fact that she just sort of cleaned the wounds with her family, really speaks a lot for her character, and why she's continuing to be really my favorite character from the entire series. Thrawn is probably one of the biggest disappointments of the episode, as his big plan to take down the rebels doesn't really go anywhere, although he does have a really tense scene when suddenly they are the ones who actually decide to take down Bendu by just firing right into a massive storm cloud, which does end up working, and he gets this ominous message from Bendu, and then boom, he kills him right there. But this moment really doesn't mean all that much, as the Bendu was a very spiritual creature, and like many of the other Jedi Force ghosts that we see in the series, he's almost certainly going to make another appearance, if not only as a disembodied voice. So, it was an okay finale to what is arguably just an okay season. That being said, there were a lot of big moments from this season of Star Wars Rebels that I really did enjoy, most of those moments involving Darth Maul and the Mandalorians. Good thing a lot of the episodes are devoted to them, but there were definitely a couple of stinkers this season. But the finale itself falls somewhere in the middle. Very much like the Bendu, it's just sort of an okay thing. Not necessarily good, not necessarily bad. So, I'm going to give the finale a solid 3 out of 5. You should definitely check it out if you've been following the season or if you're a Star Wars fan. That being said, I would love to hear from you guys about what you thought about these double episodes right here, this 1-hour season finale. Did you like it? Did you not like it? Were you disappointed by Grand Admiral Thrawn like I was? Did you have a favorite scene, a favorite moment? How did you feel about the death of Commander Sato? And what do you hope to see from the next season of Star Wars Rebels? Please tell me in the comments section below. Make sure to subscribe to the channel for all things Star Wars and anime review related. Please leave me a comment or two, as I'd love to chat with you guys. And of course, if you liked this video, please give it a thumbs up. If you didn't like it, give it a thumbs down. I will see you guys next time. And as always, may the Force be with you.